Right, well, it's the big days here. It's the Div 1 National, and with Starlet's captain Darren Bickerton. It's a venue that's not been used for a long time, has it? The Leeds Liverpool around Wigan.
No.
It's a bit of a trek for a lot of teams. So what have you found out about it?
We've had 5 or 6 people practising for the venue. They say it's really nice, the Leeds Liverpool Canal at Wigan. There's a lot of our team been fishing international matches this year, so we couldn't all get down. You know, but we've had good team talks and chats with the people that have been. You know, anything can happen today. You know, it's the Blue Riband event, the Division 1 National for the Angling Trust, and I think everyone's really excited.
Is it going to be a small fish job?
There will be small fish. I think you need some bigger fish, some skimmers to do well. You know, and hopefully we'll all catch a few early. Are
they in every peg, do you think, or is it going to be peggy for those bigger fish?
I think there's a possibility of catching a decent fish in every peg. You know, there's obviously better areas than others. You spend too long fishing for one, and and you'll blow out. So yeah, you do.
And the prize at the end of it's not just being Div 1. For a team like yourselves, it's World Club Champs, isn't it?
Yeah. It's in Ireland next year in the Scara, so there'll be a lot of people trying to win today just because of World Club Championship qualification. Yeah.
Well, good luck, mate.
Thank you very much.
Right, well, it's the Div 1 National, and normally Nationals are on venues we're familiar with, have been used before. Most teams are aware of how they are. And with Lee Kerry, captain of Barnsley Bats, the defending champions, it's the Leeds Liverpool. It's not a familiar venue, is it?
No, it's not a familiar venue. Here at Wigan, I'll tell you what it is. It's very typical, sort of a narrow canal. Like, there's loads of different features all the way along. You get bays, you get boats, you get brick walls, you get rushes. I mean, every single peg that the lads are sending through all looks different, so nobody knows what to expect.
And with different pegs, does that need a different approach, or is there a method for this canal?
I think there's probably a general method for this canal. I can't say that we know what it is, but I'm sure that the people who fish here all the time will have sort of some fundamentals that they know. We've been quite a few times, we've put the effort in, everybody's been sort of 2-3 times minimum, so we've got a bit of knowledge, but ultimately the teams in the top 5 today will have a good draw and fish well, as always. But I think on this particular venue, the draw will be very important because there is so many feature pegs. But I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, even mine with the wall looks great, and some of the pegs here look brilliant.
Can bonus fish get you out of trouble, or are they a gamble?
No, they can get you out of trouble, but I mean, the problem is I'm not sure how many there is. So I think, we'll see, but I think after an hour, you'll know who's going to be the top 5 teams, because a lot of the fishing happens early on here. So after the first hour, we'll see where we're at, and it'll be we're in trouble, or consolidate position to see how we can go on. But it's a challenge, I know that much.
And you'd love to win it because you have high standards for the team. It's the World Club Champs, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're very lucky, 2 years running now. So let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do, basically.
Best of luck, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Well, Div 1 National attracts all types of different anglers, from club anglers to world champions, which is Barnaby Newman here, who's fresh from Serbia, fresh from winning the under-15s World Championships, double gold in fact with the team. Bit different to Serbia, isn't it?
Oh yeah, although they're both canals, this is very different, very shallow, probably not going to be prolific fishing, but
it's not the best bit, is it? So it's catch what you can, I suppose.
Yeah, hopefully catch a decent weight at the start of the match, and then just plod along catching odd fish. But you never know.
Chance of an eel or two, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. You just got to have a job getting them out, to be fair. But
we'll see what happens, mate. But another gold medal would be nice.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be lovely.
We shall see, mate. But best of luck.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
bit of local knowledge is always useful on any national, and Steve Powley is one of the Census Northwest teams, very local to the canal. Been fishing the canal for how many years? Do we want to say?
Over 20.
Over 20 years.
Yeah.
Knows it very well. Raised a few eyebrows when it was picked for the national. What's the match going to be like?
Well, it's the individual national was a good pointer. There's going to be some really good weights off areas, but then there's going to be some really tough ones like this one here. So I think it stood up well to the pressures.
Yes.
Trevor's done really well rotated the sections, checking on the people that are coming on doing lineups. It's been really well done.
It has been well run, hasn't it?
But yeah, it's
going to be a small fish match, probably. Just big fish dotted around, aren't there?
small fish, or obviously if you have an early skimmer, that's your day done.
Pipe and slippers job, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. And also later in the match, people will start to look for an eel too.
So early and late for your big fish.
Yeah.
Middle part for you, get your head down.
Yeah.
And that's going to be squat and ground bait, isn't it? Really.
Squat and ground bait, which is unusual because at this time of year, normally the canal's transitioning back to roach, and bread normally plays a much more important role. But it's
hemp. Will that be?
Hemp's going to be important today. Yeah. If you can catch on hemp, then again your match will be sorted. But again, it's a late bait. It's not an early.
You're not going to catch straight away.
Some canals you can fish it from the off, but here you've got to let it build and go from there.
Well, we will know in about 5 hours, mate.
Lovely, so thank you.
Hopefully it'll be a good one.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks.
So we have a man who knows a little bit about canal fishing. It's Alex Clements, former England youth international. Long way for you to come though, isn't it?
A hell of a long way, yeah. I managed to leave at 6:30 last night and got here at 10:30, so missed the rush hour traffic, which was good, but it would have taken 6 hours normally. So.
Not drawn terribly in D section. Everyone is saying you want to be on the boats. You are, they're here, so hopefully a day's fishing and good points.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hopefully a few bonus fish early on and then scratch about for the rest of the match, I think really is going to be the day. I think it's quite a fair section really. So there's a few eels and perch about and some odd skimmers.
They're your bonuses really, an eel or a perch.
So, yeah.
Not loads, but one or two.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. So obviously not knowing it particularly well, but we actually practiced here 2 weeks ago, and we had between sort of £2 and £6, and I do think today that I think £4 would be good.
Mega,
points.
won't it?
Yeah, for £4 in this section.
So that's kind of your target, and a couple of kilos.
Yeah. Hopefully.
That'll all be squat fish?
Yeah, I think so. A bit of squat fish, yeah, and then a few chop fish as well. So, yeah.
I was talking to a lad up there, he's a local, he said like bread sort of begins to work around now on the canal, but it's a gamble, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a gamble, yeah. I think for me it's going to be a bit of, I can put it in if I need to, if I'm going nowhere, but I want to try and stay a bit more positive to give myself that chance of some early bonus fish. So
excellent. But, we shall see what we shall see, won't we?
Fingers crossed. Yeah, looking forward to it. So big match today, 410 pegs, isn't it? So
well, best of luck, mate.
So cheers, buddy.
Well, there's a handful of pegs in each section that are potential match winners, and in D section this is one. There's a lovely turning bay here with a bit of space for the anglers around it. One of them is Sean Bryan of had a long way to travel, haven't you? But drawing a peg like this.
Yes, I'm quite happy, to be fair. Talking to a couple of locals yesterday who were down the Saracens there, they said D section, if you can get in the turning bay, there's chances of bream. So you're dreaming all night of the turning bay. And lucky enough,
here it is.
Here it is.
What's the approach for? Because there's a fair bit of water, isn't it? It's not your typical canal peg, so
it seems across seems shallow. You got about 2.5, 3 foot water, which I'm quite happy. I'll set a small feeder rod up for across. I've got 6 sections out. It's the deepest part of the track. I've got 3 rigs for there, and at 14.5 meters, I've got 3 foot water, which I'm happy with 3 foot water. The boats are coming down, but they tend to come down the track on the inside. So leaving that area free.
Yeah. How'd you catch them? Is it a worm approach? Different baits for the bream?
Yeah, basically worm, red worms, double pinky. We've been practicing a few times, and we've caught well on red worms. We've caught well on inch pieces of worm.
Yeah, and feeding ground bait and chop worm, or just chop worm?
Yeah, basically I'll just put 2 balls in on a long line with 100 mil of worm in. Fish a worm or a single red maggot straight away before I'll go anywhere else. and hopefully, start catching a few
Will
big
it be
skimmers.
immediate, or could it be a late job?
To be honest, we've been practicing. It's been immediate. You put a couple of balls in, you've gone over, and you've had a skimmer.
Yeah, they're there straight away.
They're there. Yeah,
It's keeping them coming, I suppose.
that's
Isn't
the
it?
hard bit. It's the feeding process to keep them coming. Yeah.
Is there a pressure as well, because £30 came from around here in a practice match? So are you thinking, I should be catching that, or is it easy to ruin the peg by forcing it too much?
If you force it, you're going to ruin it. And to be honest, yeah, okay, you have £38 around here. There's bream here, but if they don't feed, you can't make them
You've got to
feed.
do
Can
something
you?
else, haven't you?
That's right. As we were talking before, I've played rugby against internationals, so we're just taking it easy. We're taking it easy. you can put too much in, but you can't take it back out.
Exactly. It's not life and death, is it?
No,
at the
it's
end of the
not.
day? But £10 would be that win the section, wouldn't it? You'd have thought.
Well, good points for the team.
Points, yeah.
If I get good points for the team, well, the job done.
5 fish in the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Well, it is. Usually about an hour and a half, first couple of hours.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Once you've got good team points, you can start thinking about individuals.
Yes, you can. Exactly. That's it.
To be honest,
It's a job done, isn't it?
if I come away with a medal, that's a bonus.
It is.
But as long as the team do good, I'm happy with that.
That's it. And we will know. Well, we will know in that first hour, won't we? I
Yes,
guess?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, Sean.
Cheers, thank you.
Waiting is almost over. We're almost ready to start this year's Angling Trust Division 1 National. It's on the Leeds Liverpool Canal. And you should just look at the canal. It's beautiful. It really is. We're at Scarry's Brick Marina to begin with. Now, this is an area that locals reckon could produce the winner. It's hit and miss. Might do, it might not. We will know a lot very quickly. See how quickly those skimmers and the bream that hang around the marina mouth get caught on the end pegs. You can probably just see a couple of poles poking out behind us in the trees. That's where the action's going to be centred on. So we'll see if there's a quick early start for the anglers that are drawn there. If not, we'll be heading off to other areas. Heaton's Bridge, where Colin Cliff won the individual national a couple of weeks ago. And then a little bit further down, you've got the Piggery. Again, it's another could be, couldn't be. No one's putting any money on that producing the individual winner, but there's a possibility. And we were in D section earlier on talking to some anglers. There's a lovely turning bay there where a couple of lads have drawn 38 pounds of bream. Came off there in a practice match. If they're still there, and if even half of those feed, could be looking at the winner there. So 20 miles of canal to cover. Glad I'm not walking it has to be said, because that's a long way. But we'll be popping in on various sections and seeing how it goes, basically. So we shall see. halfway through the Division 1 National. Things are starting to slowly take shape in terms of the individual race. There's several £10 weights scattered throughout the sections, typically from one end to the other. 20 miles of canal, not easy to track down. However, there's a section at the Piggeries, which I believe is G section. There's a couple of chaps have got a bit of a gap between. One you can see behind us just in the distance, that's Tom Moretti. Now he's got about 7 or 8 pounds. He's been catching skimmers in little spells. At the opposite end is one of the Four Counties lads. He got off to a lightning start. He's had 5 big fish quite early on, 2.5 pound bream. He reckons he's got over double figures. Hasn't caught for half an hour, but knowing canals and bream, they could just come back at any point. They've got 2.5 hours yet. I don't believe he's not going to catch any more, and he's got some small fish to go with it. At the opposite end of the section, Josh Newman has got 7 or 8 pounds, and Paul Kennels of Liverpool is in the middle of them. He's got 10 pounds, so quite a few weights through this little section. They're also catching up on D section, where the small turning bay is opposite the pub. There's some bream and skimmers being caught there, and weirdly, right at the other end of D section, which everyone has said is going to be rubbish, an angler's got 10 pounds. How's that happened? I have no idea, but he's got that as well. And there's some 7s and 8s dotted around in the other sections, so very, very close to call. And a lot of people are saying last hour, that's when the big fish will have another go after they do early on. So what do we know? It could all change. But we've got to stick with the front runners at the moment. 3 or 4 anglers on 10 pounds. They're going to add to that. We could be looking at 20 pounds to win. So, but still a lot of fishing to be done. So welcome to D section, or more specifically, the small turning bay at Apley Bridge. Now, I said we were going to come here because there've been starting to be some bream and skimmer weights being caught. If you can see behind me, you will see that the 2 hours in question have both wheeled in feeder rods. That tells you what they're fishing for, bream and skimmers, and they've both caught a few. We've got Sean Bryan, who says he's got over 8 kilos. We've got hour and a half to go, still catching smaller fish now, but he's hoping those bigger fish will come back. And then Paul Sanderson next to him, he's had a few as well, not as many, but they seem to be sharing the shoal. Sean's peg's a bit stronger, so he's hoping it'll keep going. What's he got? So he's got 8 or 9 kilos. He's heading towards 20 pounds, and we were saying 20 pounds will win, so not saying he'll win, of course, nothing's a given, but he's in a very good place. More importantly, the bites are still coming. It's not drying up. It's slowed, yes, but it's not gone dead. So, but there's also a weight at the bottom of D section where it's very shallow. No one was expecting much there. There's 10 pounds, possibly even more there. We might be off on a trek to have a look there and see what they're catching. But certainly these 2 lads at the moment are not first. I don't want to say first and second in the match, but from what we know, they're well in front. Hour and a half to go. Anything could happen. Right, well, it's been a long day, but the end is in sight. Half an hour of the Div 1 National left. We're still on the D section, not necessarily just because of Sean Bryan and Paul Sanderson on the turning bay. They're probably leading the section. However, a little further along around the corner, where apparently it's not very good there, well, Lee Kerry would have words with you because he had a kilo an hour, no, he had a pound in fact an hour ago. He's got 15 now. He's having one a chuck. Skimmers, hybrids, proper things. He's catching up. Quick enough? Don't know. We shall find out. Half hour to go. We're going to do some sums in a minute and we shall see what's what.
So it's between the two of you. It's between the two of you, and who's your money on?
My friend next door.
Could we buy £3, £4?
Yeah. But you both had a great day, guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. You called me up and overtook me on that feeder.
And you got some nice pegs, didn't you? You got
Couldn't draw any better.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's been bang on.
I agree with that. I was well up this morning.
Yeah.
I told 10 locals yesterday.
Perfect. Right. Well, here we go, guys. This is a moment of glory. This is the weigh-in, guys.
9 kilo, 380.
Happy with your weight, Sean?
Fantastic day, thank you. 15,950.
Good.
Kilo 800. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It's only going to be 10 grams here or there, won't it? Yeah.
9,800 then, Lee. How was?
Yeah, you can't
How
moan
was
at
your day?
that. I had 800 with 2 hours to go, Lloyd. So
Yeah.
a nice last 2 hours. Fantastic fishing.
That's a great net there, Lee. Well done.
Cheers, mate.
A few thank yous first, and I thought I would bring up the main man himself, Trevor Smith, to give a few personal thank yous.
First thing I'd like to do is thank all your teams for travelling these distances. We've asked for this match for many, many years. We've finally been given it, and it's been supported brilliantly. The practice matches, we've had 160 plus pegs on every practice match. Terrifically supported. I thank you all for that. On behalf of myself and Wigan and District Angling, I'd like to mention some lads. Dave Edgley, Mark Elliman, Danny Martin. Now I've got under pressure now, I'm forgetting now. What do you for? Ian Fuchel, Ian, Keith Anders, Mick Davis. And if I've missed one here, and I'm sure I have, I apologise.
Clegg did a few bits and pieces.
Without these lads, you've seen the canal bank in Overgrove. These lads, for the last month and a half, have been on the bank, swimming the gap for the pegs, spraying the pegs on a weekly basis to keep them open. Without them lads and the effort they've put in, there wouldn't have been a match. So I'd really like to thank them. And on that, I've heard Wigan's beat St Helens, so I'm going.
Thank you, Trevor. Thanks again, Trevor. So a few more thanks from me. Thank you to all the team stewards today. I saw the chat in the WhatsApp group was brilliant. We got weighed in nice and quick. We got 95% of the section sheets back nice and quick, and thus we get the results nice and quick. So thanks to team stewards. And the final thanks is to CRT for offering up their waters today. Thank you to John and his team for helping out and offering the waters. We will run into the results.
Yes. So before we start, some housekeeping about some lost property handed in. Have any of you won the under-15s World Championships? We've also had a couple of the under-20s team fishing today who won as well. Well, actually, I don't know if they're still here. Anyone? They are. George is still here, so stand up. To present the prizes, we will have Eric Prescott, who is chair of the Angling Trust. So we'll be handing out your gifts for today.
There's a light clap for the chair of the Angling Trust. Well done.
We'll start off with sections. So this is just your main 41 peg sections. Subsections are to be paid later on because there are so many of them. So we'll start off in A section. Winner, put my glasses on because I'm blind, with 2 kilos, 710 grams, Kev Lavelle of Saints. B section winner with 9 kilos, 210 grams, Dave Brown, Maver Midlands. C section winner, 9 kilos, 300 grams, Adam Logan, Drennan Leicester. D section winner with 15 kilos, 950 grams, Sean Bryan, Census Lobbies. E section winner, 3 kilos and 60 grams, Nick Moss, Drennan Leicester. G section winner, 8 kilos, 400 grams, Tom Moretti, Census Hot Rods. J section winner, 7 kilos, 160 grams, Dave McCall, Cadence Super Team.
Well done, Dave. Take it for him.
Take it for him. K section winner, last section, 5 kilos and 10 grams, Greg Wellesby, Team Army.
Oh, Greg. Pretty good on commercials, Greg.
Yes, it is. Fish eye finalist. We'll now pop onto the individuals, paying the top 6. 6th place with 8 kilos, 400 grams, winning 400 quid, Tom Moretti, Census Hot Rods.
Hello, Tom.
Fifth place, winning 500 quid, 9 kilos, 210 grams, Dave Brown. Fourth place for £600 with 9 kilos, 300 grams, Adam Logan. Third place, 750 quid, 9 kilos, 800 grams, Lee Kerry. Well done, Captain Kerry.
Well done, Lee.
Runner-up in the Div 1 National. £850 for that, with 12 kilos, 250 grams, Paul Sanderson.
Oh, he'd left a few grams on his shirt there.
Not green. So individual champion for 2025, who's next pegged to Paul, 15 kilos, 950 grams, Sean Bryan.
Just tell him.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. Hold on. Put that on.
Win it.
Go.
And silver.
Sure. Well done, mate.
Third place, 130 points. It's Preston Delcac. Takes a bit longer with the medals.
Yeah.
They'll get medals, said, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
All of you guys.
Where's the captain?
Want your money?
Do you want your money?
Runners up, 2025 National, 127 points, Drennan Northwest.
The captain to stay for the envelope.
Take your money home.
There's no money in there.
Well done.
Well done, Danny. I'll fish for that. Stick it there. I'll fish my mix.
National champions for 2025. They're off to the World Club Champs next year. 123 points. Daiwa Gordon Lee. There we go. That's good to see.
Well done, Tresh.
Not by much, 4 points.
Fellas. Yeah, well
Scott, you all right, mate?
Hey, wait, brother.
I'm good, thank you, yes.
just say thanks for coming and safe travels home.
Thank you for coming. Safe travels home. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the winner of this year's individual race in the Division 1 National, in the past he was a rugby legend, now he's a fishing legend. It's Sean Bryan. Congratulations, Sean.
Thank you, sir.
You've drawn a peg, turning bay at Atley Bridge. Now, everyone said, oh yeah, £38 came off that in a practice match. We've all heard it before, haven't we?
Yeah.
You were saying this morning, just hope the fish are still there.
That's all you could do. I spoke to a chap yesterday, like I told you this morning, that he said you had to draw the bay. And when I got down to the bay, I thought, there's a chance, but there's always a chance the bream ain't going to feed, or the skimmers ain't going to feed. And lucky enough today, they did.
Feel any pressure, or was it just not like that? You thought, you can tick over on the peg, not necessarily win, but it's good enough to give you a chance for good points.
The pressure comes when you got your first fish, your first skimmer, you don't want to lose it. But like I said to you, I played rugby against international, so it's a walk in the park. It's not life or death, it's fishing.
It is.
It's just fishing.
It is. When did you think you'd won it? Did you get to a point where you thought this is actually going very well?
After probably about 3 hours, I know I had good team points, but then it just seemed to switch off. And Paul on the next peg started catching on the feeder. So I put a feeder in myself, and I've had like one good bream and 3 skimmers.
And you set a feeder rod up, unusual for a narrow canal. It's a wider peg, obviously. Yeah. But did you think you'd catch on it? Was it just in case method?
It's just in case. It's basically covering all options.
Yeah.
And I only had it's about 2 foot over there, so I didn't think I'd catch the bus. But I felt that the fish were backing off. I fished at 4.5 meters, and they were just backing off a little bit.
So you started on the long pole.
I started 6 meters.
6 meters. Okay.
And I had a couple of small skimmers. Then I've had 3 good skimmers and 3 chucks. Then Paul next door went at 14.5, and he started catching some better ones. So I cubbed in a couple of balls, and I've had a cracking 2 hours.
It's ground bait and chop worm.
Yeah. Ground bait, chop worm. With on the hook was a Gloucester Canal bait. Inch piece of worm with a floor pinky.
Cocktail, we used to be
Yeah,
called, didn't
yeah.
it? Do you know the fish are there? Do you see them blowing? Or...
No, I did see one, after about 3 hours, one come up in the water and give me a wave.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
He said it slowed down, so did you think, typical, that's my chance gone?
Yes.
Was it going to come back, the peg?
I was hoping. I thought, oh, that can't happen to me a second time. So I was on the Trent. I come second, and I lost the fish that day. And I was thinking, it's history repeating itself again. And I calmed myself down a bit and just went through the process, paint by numbers, as my good friend keeps telling me. So,
and in the end,
lucky.
you weighed 15 kilos, which probably a bit more than you thought.
A lot more than I thought, to be perfectly honest. A lot more than I thought.
More than I thought, it must be said.
Yeah.
But remarkable. A good battle with Paul on the next peg, I suppose. There's always, when there's two pegs like that, one is always better than the other,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah.
That's just, it was your turn, wasn't it? Like you said, getting second last on the Trent before, it's probably owes you won this competition, doesn't it?
It does. I absolutely made up. I won a match. Last time I won a match was my daughter got married on the Saturday. Well, I fished on the Sunday and I won. That was about 5 years ago.
Blimey.
That's the last time I won a match.
5 years without winning a match.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to win a match, it might as well
must
be
be
the
a figure.
national. Well done, Sean.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Excellent.
So he's cradling the biggest prize in team fishing in the UK. It's the Div 1 trophy. It's Mark Treasure, captain of Daiwa Gordon League, winners of this year's national. Funny, you were just saying, the last time it was on this venue, the Leeds Liverpool Canal, you won.
That's absolutely right. And this is probably 2002. We won it, went to World Club. And yesterday, a couple of the team said, we're in the same hotel. We're in the same hotel. And you start to get a feeling that it's meant to be.
It is.
But we worked hard to get the
way
result.
to come, isn't it? You dotted around the West Midlands and the Southwest, so...
We've come up, most of the summer on and off. There's apart from Mark Brush, who I had to bring in because we had an injury, everybody's been on here 3-4 times, and we've done our lineups, and we've prepared well.
And you developed an affinity with it. Have you got on with the canal, or was it still a bit love-hate?
Listen, I used to live here. This canal has improved, fishing-wise, beyond recognition. The number of small skimmers and fish to be caught, and the weights.
A lot of fish.
It's been, quite incredible to see. So we have developed an affinity with it. We had a plan, and we had things that we would do if it didn't quite go to plan.
Winning a national, half of it's the draw, or some of it at least is the draw. When you looked at your pegs, what were you thinking? You think that's actually not bad?
No.
Or didn't you know?
So Mark Brush had the end peg outside the headquarters, but it's not a good area. And apart from that, we haven't had any of the big weight flyers, but we've had a very consistent scorecard.
Which is probably consistency rather than flair, isn't it, that wins team matches, I think.
It is. Look, we knew skimmers up to a pound, pound and a half, were key fish. We knew you were going to catch them early. The harder the peg, the shorter the window you had to catch them, right? And we knew the depth that we felt we'd catch them in. And so we didn't really worry about much else
just for that
first hour, right? Because you could pick up a few odd fish, quite positive. And for some, it's worked really well. For others, it didn't work so well, but we had options. We haven't caught any eels today. We haven't caught many eels while we've been up, but we've caught other fish down the track. I know Scott Geens has done that today. Kane is caught down the track. Some of us knew it was going to be tough and it would be a squat match. In the last match, we proved if you started loose feeding squats, you catch fish. Most of the locals dismiss them because they're too small.
Going for those stamp fish.
4 points today.
4 points, and that's, you can say that's a skimmer, but equally it's a number of small fish, isn't it?
It's grams.
It really is.
And that's what I would say we got. Look at the scorecard. It's very, very even through 10 anglers.
And this is a victory for rebuilding, I suppose. You brought in some new anglers just recently.
We've been very lucky to get, Scott Geens, we've got Ed, we got Rory Jones, Dan Ashington, to join what was already a strong unit. But a unit that just wasn't quite. I mean, we got a bronze last year, right?
Yeah.
We were second on a count back from Barnsley in the Winter League. Crikey, what do we need to do to close the gap? And you have to bring in knowledge and experience. And what has happened is we've used Zoom and WhatsApp meetings to share knowledge, right? For the first time, we're saying we're going to use the same ground bait, right? We are going to be completely consistent, and that's what we've levered today.
Yeah. You say you had a method. What was it?
Well, as I say, early on, you've got to give yourself a chance of catching a skimmer. Don't fish for an eel until you're ready to fish for one, so don't feed it. But also, some of this heavy kit for eels, fish lighter. Fish for anything that swims down the track, and a few have caught down the track today. A positive line and 2 perhaps more negative lines, which 3 hours in, this canal starts to go belly up. It starts to flatten a little bit, and then you just catch fish. Squats, pinkies, whatever you need. But we got thinking anglers. Every one of them has got this portfolio that they needed to use. They've all used it. They're thinking anglers.
That's it. It's knowing when to, isn't it? It's adapting as well.
Cool heads as well.
Cool heads. Hand on hearts. Did you think you'd won it? Were you sitting up there and thinking, do you know, there's a chance?
Yes.
You did.
I gave an interview to John Ellis just before. And I said, look, I think we've got a good score, but the teams I'm asking are not naming us. So you begin to think.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
and every time this happens, you get to second place and you haven't been called out. You think, have we added this up wrong? So in between the second place team, right, getting their prizes, we did our adding up. I think we added up 122 and we had 123.
Yeah. So you know.
So we didn't know, but the numbers are the numbers.
It's the numbers when you ask around, isn't it? Yeah. You get a good idea.
And I remember on the Winter League final, Barnsley criticised us a bit for not being professional. We didn't know our scores. It stuck with me, right? And we knew our scores to the point today. We learned.
Exactly. You learned.
It's professionalism, and that's what we're doing.
It wins matches, doesn't it? Whether it's individual or team, it's those small percentages, isn't it? That it all adds up. And victory as well. So World Club champs now, Ireland. Nice trip across the Irish Sea.
Well, been before.
Yeah.
World Club. We were in the Feeder World Club a couple of years ago. Watch out for us next week, by the way, because I think I fancy our chances for that. Yeah. We'll see. Yes, it's exciting, and that's what we're here for, isn't it?
That's what you live for.
That's what we live for. Many of us will never fish for the England team on a selection basis, but the World Club is so close to that experience.
That's the thing, isn't it?
And that's when Scott and Ed and Dan and Rory joined. That's what I said we were building for.
Didn't take you long then, did it?
Yeah, but it's a core team. We've got a very, very good squad, Neg.
Yeah.
Very good squad.
Well, Mark, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. A well-run match. Faultless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.